Everyone, welcome back to Netrunner World Championships 2025. My name's Baran Wu. I am joined to my right by the royalty of streaming. It is Cranked.
Shout out to Twitch chat. I'm so glad that we finally get to class up this Null Signal game stream. Look at us. Look at Sharp.
This is top cut, you know?
Thank you.
We can't do this by halves. Anyway, we've seen some pretty wild games. That was a hell of an Epiphany game right
awesome
now.
NBN, baby!
We saw NBN, we saw IP enforcement do a really big thing. That was
huge.
That was like pretty massive.
We went from 4-2 to 4-2, but like the weird way.
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing some classics. We've been doing some exchange. It feels just like the old days.
Oh yeah, they do make them like they used to sometimes.
But anyway, we're now into the
lower bracket semis.
Bracket semis.
Getting closer.
Sounds good to me.
Getting closer.
And we've got a great matchup here. We've actually got two UK players who are running it back from the Cambridge regionals from 2024. Both were in the finals of that tournament. We have Kikai, who is either Cambridge-ish, Cambridge-Norwich sort of region. I won't try and be accurate on that one, but is a member of EA Sports, and Bowsley, who is part of the London Meta. What do we think about these decks? We've got
Ayuko for Kikai, and then Lat for Bowsley. Shaper.
And you were just pointing out a bit of a spicy card, which probably doesn't come into this one, but what do we see in Bowsley's lap, which grabbed your attention?
For 2 pips of influence, it's a copy of Lucky Charm.
I have a feeling that might have helped him out a little bit in this tournament.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's there for the Leo matchup.
That seems to make the most sense to me if I was a betting man. I'm struggling to think what other matchup it would be especially useful for. Potentially against anything on Zato Grid, if there were going to be any end the run ice thrown at him out of something like an Ob or even a cheeky Duving that was playing it. But I suspect you're right that it's for the Leo matchup.
Absolutely, and I mean this is very much a kind of this is Anicam. So we're back to good old. We're going to play a bunch of events. We're going to make some money. We're going to draw cards. Anicam plus Lat, very hard to kill, notoriously hard to kill.
Yes.
And we've also got a spicy card in there in the Burner, which I think is a really good kind of a win con slasher, don't lose con right now.
Especially for this matchup. Kikai representing Ayuko. I believe his deck is titled Complexity Plus, which is a very excellent deck name. But definitely some spicy includes in here. 2 copies of End of the Line. Yeah. As opposed to the typical 1.
I think that's really really smart and really interesting. I know that plenty of people sort of bemoan the Opera Research Ayuko decks because they say, well, I just don't draw the end of the line. You know how you can double your chances of drawing one?
2 copies, eh?
Absolutely. So obviously we've kind of lost out on some influence, but this still seems pretty rude. We've got a couple of Oppos in here, 3 Spin Doctors, and then the end of the lines as influence. And obviously we're playing false leads. Everyone's favorite 3-1 agenda.
There's also a cheeky 1x bite in the Ayuko list. You can't let them get too confident. This is really smart. I really think that a lot of these Ayuko lists could benefit from playing a bite. You can put it on the board just to hide it amongst the rest of your assets that you're using to set up the kill. Obviously, it's great in the centrals if they just happen upon it. And seeing it in the deck list, especially in an open deck list format like this, you just have to be aware of it. The knowledge of it living in the back of your head does psychic damage.
Absolutely. And I mean, the idea of taking any kind of multi-access when there's a potential that you might hit a bite, you might hit a Fuji, if there's a Fat on the board as well, then all of a sudden that really, your unkillable Lat is looking pretty short on cards.
And it happens to give you a tag. I can't imagine Kikai cares about those tags.
Yeah, I mean, another card which I really like in here, there's 2 copies of a really fun ice, because we've got 2 copies of Phonatria. Not one that we've seen loads of, but essentially a card that says if you run through this ice and you have more than 3 cards in hand, you're just going to take a tag.
Right. If you play safe, you take tags, and if you live on the edge, then maybe you just die.
Yeah. And so that actually becomes like a really relevant kind of cost in terms of, okay, now I have to pay to clear tags, or I have to consider running with less than 3 cards or less in hand. pretty risky against Alco, in my opinion.
Speaking of Phonotria, that's going in front of HQ. I believe we saw Spin Doctor go into the remote server.
Okay. Just to sort of set up turn for Kikai, probably going to start looking for some things to get those AU counters. Wants to find a cohort guidance early, maybe something like a fat to stick behind some ice. We're going to sort of see what Bowsley's up to. So the little dice there, that's representing Kikai's hand size.
The lat die.
Yeah, so Bowsley's going to be trying to match that each turn if possible to get that free card draw, which just keeps you ticking along so smoothly.
Bowsley's been doing a great job tracking the opponent's hand size for them. Usually the opponent kind of has the onus of the lat die, so I appreciate the lat player taking it upon themselves to track the board state. Here comes Anacam.
Nice. That's a great little start here. So we got an Anicam into a clean getaway. That's going to see a card off R&D, I believe. Looks like a Samak, yeah. Draw a card and get some money. Looks like we match. No,
we don't.
We don't. The old Spin Dr. Rooney.
Got him, gang.
It's always wise to ask if it's good to draw when there's face downs on the table, because obviously the corp can often pop something like a Spin Doctor, maybe even a Moon Pool to reduce their hand size, where all of a sudden you thought you were drawing a card and you're not. Kikai now with lots of options, I would imagine. Also looking at the rest of Kikai's ice, it's all pretty spiky. I mean, Samaxamun is a nastier sort of ice than Tattoo Bola, which has been seeing a lot of play. We even see a copy of Diviner, which is, again, it's a cheap. It's probably going to do a damage in it, and it might well end the run.
Right, it forces out the decoder.
Absolutely. So we've got a bit of a setup here. Probably hoping that this is a cohort behind the ice here. I would assume that maybe if it was a fat, we'd see it be rezzed, but might depend on how expensive the ice is that's in front of it.
Yeah, cohort likely the best case scenario. Could be Bladderwort as well. Though we are out of Bladderwort range, assuming no ice gets rezzed this turn.
That's true. I might have missed the Bladderworts there. Bowsley installing a Telework, a card which I really like in Lat, because quite often you match hand size and then you kind of don't know what to do with your last click, and often it's take a credit. This allows Bowsley to just take 3 credits, which is a bit of a better prospect, and we do see that cohort rest.
Ooh, that's the best possible scenario, I think, for Kikai.
So this is tempo. It's going to put cards into archives, and that's really good for Alco. It's going to just start moving things along at quite the pace sometimes. Obviously, Bowsley is on 2 copies of Pinholes, so might be able to deal with this cohort early, which is often the correct thing to do. There's not many better things to use your Pinhole on other than maybe a fat behind ice right now.
Yeah, Oko just buries you in tempo if you let a cohort tick along for too many turns in a row. There's also an Ozimot in Bowsley's list for taking care of the many trashables that are typically found in Alco.
That's quite nice. And we're also seeing a card which I'm a big fan of, especially in Anicams. There's a couple of copies of Rigging Up in here, which can be a good little option for saving some money, but also could be good to charge cards like the one-off Cataloger, which Bowsley has as a bit of a win con in there, playing Cataloger and Copulation as their win cons of choice.
All 3 centrals iced up for Kikai.
I think icing archives is often quite a heads-up play in Alco. You kind of want those like face downs so that you can maybe put agendas in there, use them with moon pools. We're challenging this cohort early, so very heads up from Bowsley, sticking down for SMC and overclocking in. We'll see if Kikai decides to res or not.
Now you mentioned the archives ice. One thing that Bowsley does not have to respect in this matchup is Regenesis. I don't believe we see any copies of Regenesis in Kikai's list.
That is true. Obviously we do have some see how they runs, and you might want to pitch agendas into archives so you can moon pool them out.
Right.
But yes, no Regenesis here, which is a card which we've seen in a lot of, particularly Alco lists which we're looking to score out. Bowsley's Propeller here, pulled off the SMC. That's going to deal with the Samaxamun. Notably, only twice.
Yeah, they don't match up as cleanly as it appears, and you can really easily tax yourself out of propeller counters and eventually simul chips if you need to recur it too many times in a row.
Yeah. Now, Bowserly does have a backup here. There's also a copy of Gauss, which is going to deal with the Symax very, very cheaply when it's installed, and then gives a bit more kind of longevity to his braking solutions, but reasonably expensive to get through that Symax Moon in the late game. So once this propeller's gone and there's no Simmel chips, like, it could become a significant tax. Bowserly here, clicking up, and I think matching hand size again here. Again, discarding an unneeded second Anicam, matching the 5 and drawing a card with Lat. Kikai now has a remote which he can jam something in if he wishes. Obviously, Bowserly can get in, but again, using up those propeller counters, absolutely worth doing here.
We've got a copy of Jailbreak, as well as a copy of, looks like Clean Getaway next to it.
Yeah, very possibly. I don't know if I'm comfortable playing any of those cards on this particular board
Yeah,
state.
you can Clean Getaway past the Symaximoon, but unless you're really committed to whatever's in that remote,
Yeah,
likely better used elsewhere.
that's it. I mean, you might want to Clean Getaway that outside card, but if it turns out to be
Moonpool, if it's Moonpool or Spin Doctor,
second Spin Doctor,
you're
think,
sad.
Yeah, I think if you force a Moonpool pop, then you're probably feeling okay.
Fair. It's 3
about
credits.
that, like,
3 credits may as well be infinite sometimes for Oko.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. Well, there's the Cycle chips.
Okay, this Maximoon is less of an issue right now. Again, Bowserly kind of discarding down so that or installing down to try and match hand size a little bit, but Kikai with only 2 cards in hand from the looks of things. Back up to 5.
Yeah, it looks like back up to 5. Little cock of the head from Kikai as he studies up the board state here. No real obvious direction for him to go. I think it's really up to Kikai to set the tempo of this game.
Yeah.
And make Lat come to him.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that Bowserly has, he's got some multi-access, but it's not kind of long pressured multi-access. It's not conduit or anything along those lines. So as much as if you let a shaper set up too much, it can be a problem. This deck is a little more sort of fast, a little more aggressive, kind of looking to take its wins where it can rather than kind of lead to some kind of monstrous late game. A couple more cards getting installed here. We're already 4 servers wide with a couple being iced. I don't know how comfortable you feel about challenging this ice server. It's almost definitely likely to be an anemone. It always seems to be when I'm doing that.
Anemone just often one of the best things to be doing in Outco. Just an absolutely back-breaking res, though significantly better after being res. So it is often, it can be correct to sniff those out ahead of time. Here's Jailbreak. Is that Jailbreak HQ? I believe we saw point to HQ.
Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, there is obviously the the Simmel chip for SMC, so Bowserly does feel confident that he can get through whatever ice is resed here. With 5 cards in hand, I mean, and an enemy into a bite isn't gonna be lethal and wouldn't quite be affordable for Kikai either.
Sure, on credits, yeah. Now, Anemone would also let Kikai tuck, potentially, if there is an agenda in hand, tuck it into archives and keep it safe.
A very nice little thing. Obviously, you have to trash a card from hand, which sometimes feels like a bad thing unless you're Alco and you suddenly get a counter out of nowhere.
All cards are valid in Alco's eyes.
Kikai, a really kind of thoughtful player, really kind of thinks through his lines, whether the res is correct, whether things, even when he's got plenty of money. We're seeing Oppo already in hand and an end of the line already in hand.
Guns loaded.
A little smile from Bowserly there, knows that
there they are.
knows that the game's up. I mean, obviously them being already in HQ does mean that if Bowserly drops down to sort of 3 or 4 cards at any point, then if Kikai drops down to 3 or 4 cards at any point, then Bowserly is set up for a pretty clean burner to go and deal with them if he can draw into his one-of copy.
A lot of Lat lists choosing to exclude burner because it doesn't really line up super well with the Lat ability, but the card is just too useful not to include in this kind of metagame.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, the sort of other little tech that you can do is to cup the opponent's one and only end of the line in those like one end of the line lists. Kikai, it's safe from that as as an option here.
Here's a pinhole.
This is a pinhole. I think running on the only uniced server.
Right, not the Spin Doctor, of course.
Not the Spin Doctor, because that could be popped and remove yourself from the game. Kikai here, respecting the fact that the Spin Doctor...
Oh,
it's a second Spin Doctor! So,
nice.
So here this overwrites the first one, which I think would just get shuffled back with the one which has just been rezzed.
Right.
This is going to make Bowsley a little sad because really thinking that pinhole was probably going through there. Also, that's 1 out of 2 pinholes gone already.
What a cheeky chappy. What a play. I like that from Kikai.
And obviously not using that first Spin Doctor because there's not going to be enough stuff to recur here. So just goes back into the deck to draw it later to use again at a later point.
One of the benefits of Alco is just the ability to control where cards are. You can use Moonpool to control where the agendas go. You can use Spin Doctor for everything else. It's not an ability that many other decks in the game have at the moment.
Absolutely. Also, Kikai now being above 5 cards in hand, so no chance of Bowsley matching up in this particular round. We've seen a little bit of Bowsley's hand there. I saw a little creative commission, but Bowsley's got plenty of money at the moment, so I think thinking the sort of slow addition of the telework was probably the better option for now.
Right. Some new remote going down. It is going to be ice.
Device here. This is Asa Strats.
I was going to say, my kingdom for a fully operational at the moment.
I mean, also, like, would be quite good with a card which I've seen spoiled around over the weekend. I'm not totally sure if it's been seen on stream yet, but there's an NBN card coming in the next set, which would love to see a board state that looks like this.
We'll tell you about it when you're older.
Yeah. January Q1. Well, not January, but Q1 next year. Bowsley here is considering his options. Probably wants to find a second SMC, really. That would be pretty useful right now.
Yeah, you could simul-chip for it, but you are going to be throwing away a half-used propeller. Probably wiser to use that fully before tossing it away to simul-chip. So, do you think that baits him into using it on the Maximoon server?
Only if you're... Okay, well...
Here we go.
I don't know whether this is a bait or not, but we're going. We'll find out what...
Moonpool.
It's a Moonpool. It's got to go down.
Gotta go. Yeah, that one can't live.
Absolutely one of the most powerful cards in Alco. It's a win con. It's a fast advance con. It allows you to get agendas sort of never advanced and give tags and all sorts. A lot that can be done with the Moonpools.
It's really what sets up all the skateboard tricks that Alco has available to it.
Absolutely. Bowsley now rethinking, I think, now possibly considering whether he wants to challenge these other servers and now has this sort of empty propeller that is great simul-chip bait if needed. But just going for the money option, taking some telework, hitting that creative, that's going to draw him a card.
Money for days over here for Bowsley.
Looking like he might have to discard 1 to get down to hand size, which is a clean getaway. Not the easiest thing to play right now.
And money not the bottleneck for Bowsley.
See what Kikai plays here. Just a Bladder Wart, just a bit of econ. Not going to do any damage because Kikai is over 4 credits, but something that Bowsley just has to be aware of if he ever drops, if Kikai ever does sort of play a big oppo or something along those lines and drops down to like very few credits, that Bladder Wall is going to be ticking away and could do some damage at the start of his turn.
Even just rezzing ice, it adds a bit of a mental tag for every ice res while the Bladder Wart lives.
Yeah, you always have that thing of like, you kind of suddenly don't want to force the corp to spend money. We're seeing a hedge fund. Looks like money's not going to be an issue for Kikai anytime soon.
Bladder Wart maybe a bit far off from that one now.
Just wondering, probably looking to jam something in this other server. Yep. Obviously, Bowsley not having any propeller counters anymore, so we'll need to either reset or find another way through that Samaxamoon. Probably doesn't want to take Free to the face, I would imagine.
No, does not seem prudent at this point. Here's SMC.
Okay.
Ooh,
Overclocking
overclock.
elsewhere. Yeah, leaving the Bladder Wart doesn't seem like an important server to have to deal with. This overclock's going to allow Bowsley to get out whatever is needed. Might be a breaker if Kikai doesn't choose to res. Might decide to instead get out an Azimat, but we do see that Fonatria.
That's a good one.
Yeah, with Bowsley with, I'm pretty sure, more than 3 cards in hand right now. 4 cards in hand. So gonna have to either take a damage, that doesn't seem like a wise choice,
No.
or take a tag, which is gonna start sort of creating this tax.
Part of the appeal of a deck like Alco is it just adds such a mental load. There's so many things to keep track of at any one given moment for the runner. All the ice reses feed the Bladder Ward. The net damage feeds the Alco ability. The Moon Pool moves the agendas from point A to point B to point C. There's just so much going on at any given moment.
Absolutely.
And Alco puts that onus on the opponent.
Luckily, this Echelon, because of that propeller, it might be useless, but it's actually helping out its little buddy next to it, taking it up to 2 strength. So Bowsley doesn't have to boost the Echelon, which is ungodly expensive to boost at times.
Oh, come on. We've all broken a Biowak with an Echelon, haven't we? Right, Chad? Right?
Yeah. Bowsley with 1 tag. Kikai tracking those tags. Wants to...
Ooh, see how they run.
Ooh. Does steal here. Obviously, that turns on Oppo, but only a little Oppo, and Bowsley has plenty of money to be able to clear any tags which are here. If you haven't seen this little combo, then the nasty kind of option is scoring out to see how they run, often using a Moon Pool. Or maybe some cohort advancing to so you still have a click, taking some damage, maybe an extra fat damage, and then playing an end of the line with the tag that it gives you. Rude little agenda.
Ooh, Longevity Serum was on the board behind the Samaxamoon.
So we've just had two agendas jammed out, kind of knowing that Bowsley probably can't check everything that turn.
Yeah, really good fork from Kikai here.
Trashing 1 card from HQ with the Longevity Serum, which means that Kikai will get a counter. Really nice little interaction there, and then it's going to shuffle some things back in. Didn't quite catch what went back into the deck.
I think it was Hedge Fund and a couple of face downs. At least a Hedge Fund for sure.
Okay, well that makes it. I mean, with Kikai at only 5 credits, then the Hedge Fund kind of makes sense. Money is needed here. We've got this Bladder Wart ticking up, but if Bowsley contests that next turn, then maybe we might be in a little bit of financial trouble for a while. Kikai, I would probably think, is hoping to draw big off this Alco next turn and hopefully just jam stuff behind all of these. Oh, we're playing
jailbreak.
Aggressive here.
Yeah, this is cool. No fear from Bowsley.
Absolutely. Really comfortable play. Feeling like Kikai's in a position where credits are low. Probably can't really afford to res whatever ice is on HQ.
I believe we saw Fonatria get put there on turn 1. That would be pretty committal. There's an Anemone.
In hand.
And end of the line.
You know that's fair. Jailbreak, really good tempo with Anikam. Draws a card off itself and one off Anikam most of the time. So kind of whipping through, seeing cards, drawing cards. A nice little kind of option. We do see the rigging up for the cataloger here. Getting an extra counter, which can be really pivotal at times.
This is so threatening.
I don't think we've got enough clicks to use it this turn, so Kikai will be able to make some plays here if they want to protect R&D a tiny bit. Obviously, having a Spin Doctor or possibly even a Moon Pool on board can really disrupt those cataloger digs, but also using the cataloger, you can fake out some Moon Pools and some Spin Doctors pretty hard by just asking for action after you've run.
Lots of opportunity to deke your opponent with a card like Cataloger, and there's also multiple ways to charge it. Like Bowsley could use this far more than 3 times in this game. There's a couple of Stone Ship Chart Rooms in here.
Absolutely, and against kill matchups, they're normally sort of incredibly important, but at some point you run out of cards in deck to draw, so you might as well just use them for your win con, and they can be really useful at that point.
Anakim, the lat trigger can really churn through the deck very, very quickly.
Absolutely. Okay. Kikai did find a couple of things to jam here. I believe one was a moon pool. I don't know which server it went in, but I thought I saw that come off the
burner in hand.
The burner could be big. I think we're on 5 cards. I think Bowsley would love Kikai to be on a few less cards in hand, so you can feel a bit more assured about probably hitting that Oppo or the end of a line, preferably both.
Yeah.
We did see a pretty key burner on stream yesterday.
Here's Clean Getaway. That's on the Phonotria server. We'll give a tag. Accessing. There's the moon pool that you mentioned.
Okay, and again, we've kind of got a trash fan. You just can't leave them around. I think we see 2 Oppos in hand now, so they're both there. It's going to be hard for Burner to take out everything, but if you can take out both the Oppos, that might be enough to just kind of give yourself a lot of breathing room right now.
Yeah, one of the concessions for playing 2 end of the line is you had to shave down to two copies of Oppo Research.
Yeah.
With Gauss.
So I think we're challenging this Samaximum server as well here.
It's like it.
Indeed. Comes in for full strength, so only a credit to break for Samak.
Fat.
I think that's got to go as well.
It does.
Now the problem here is Bowsley was pretty rich on credits. There is a creative in hand actually, and we do have a click left.
There you go.
So maybe for Kikai, really nice. Like Kikai is one of the nicest players in the UK,
This
and
was really,
just reminding Bowsley here that he does have a tag.
There's a table judge, so the players could defer to the table judge for whether or not this take back is allowed.
I think Kikai pointing that out means that he would probably allow Bowsley to reconsider this last play if he wants.
Yeah, it's not always the best feeling to win on what kind of feels like a quote unquote gotcha moment.
Now the other thing is, like, would floating the tag be that bad? You can take 4 damage.
You can even take 5,
where does the kill come from, Like, I mean, you might lose some pretty important cards in hand, I guess, is a big thing.
Lat likely lives through Mindscaping end of the line, just simply due to the Onicom, but it's not a guarantee.
I guess losing the burner is pretty huge.
Right.
This puts Bowsley at a low number of credits. I guess we're only in small Oppo range.
Yes.
That's like pretty significant here. We've not seen a single false lead yet. That would have really swung the game in probably Kikai's direction, especially if we'd seen one scored. We're seeing
that's another naked remote.
A naked remote, sort of first considering putting it behind the Phonotria, deciding against that as a play.
I believe that naked remote is another copy of Bladder War here.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I don't think you want to ice that up, and you can just leave that ticking away. So again, as you see, not playing an Oppo here, not just going for a sort of little speed bump. We're looking for those Oppos to land critical levels of tags.
Kikai looks pretty well set up to play the long game here as well.
I mean, it's only 2 for 2. Doesn't have Alco counters at the moment. So the one thing that Kikai's missing is a little bit of tempo.
Yes.
If this Semac server turns out to be a cohort, that might sort of swing things back in his favor a little bit.
It's mostly just a setup turn for Bowsley, pass the turn back over.
I don't think, without sort of significant threats on board, you're probably best off doing that. Being down at 4 credits feels pretty scary when you're playing against an Oppo deck.
Yeah. Now, worst case scenario for letting this board go unanswered probably would be false lead behind that Samaximum. But it's just a cohort. It's not great, but it could be worse.
It's good tempo for Kikai. It's going to find him the false leads that he really wants to find.
And it's going to force Bowsley to do something. I don't think he can afford to leave this unchecked for too many turns.
Got a tiny little glimpse there. It might have been a bit of a grey text box, which could suggest one of those that neutral agenda. Kikai kind of shuffling up his hand, doesn't want to give any additional information about what might be in there. Playing a hedge fund, stacks of cash right now.
This would seem like an opportune moment to try to force a false lead through. If Bowsley doesn't take the bait, you can just score it. If he does, Big Oppo is online.
It is, and Kikai probably wouldn't mind going down to low credits to land one of those big Oppos. He has Drip coming in. Bowsley doesn't. All of his econ is tied up in events and things like that.
Cup is great.
Cup is huge here. Might be going HQ. We'll find out. Like again, sort of cupping one of those pieces of punishment is pretty big in this matchup. Even just either to get rid of it or just to hold on to it for a little bit and say, I'm going to look after this for you just for a second.
This will be a legwork later, I promise.
Yeah. Running the bin here, so I think sort of trying to maybe force a little bit of a res, considering whether he wants to cup something from the bin.
Petty Cash and Anemone were the two face-down cards in Archives.
Yeah.
Fanning through. Lots of good pieces in Archives.
I think this is a consideration of cup, yeah.
Move
So
ball.
we're cupping something from a bin here, so probably just looking to sweep the hand for agendas.
Two clicks remaining on Bowsley's side. Here's Jailbreak HQ. We're going to see nearly the whole hand.
Yeah.
There's Phonetria.
Phonetria. So we are, luckily this is not last click, because otherwise you would be potentially having to take some damage, so you didn't end up tagged. Exactly 4 in hand. Yeah, that's enough to have to take a tag. These Phonetrias have been
He's taking a net.
He's taking one net.
It's the burner.
That's
Oh
the
no!
Worst hit. Surely that's the worst hit.
This is gonna draw. This is gonna draw the Anakin. Gonna take the tag anyway.
I think he should, because Phonetria is when you pass it.
Can we pull up the text from Phonetria?
Yeah, it's when you pass it. So he takes the tag anyway, even though he took the damage and lost the burner.
Yeah, it's
really
upon pass. Oh, what a bit of a goof here from Bowsley. But we are gonna see 4 cards from HQ.
Yeah. I mean, you can't blame it. There's been a lot of net
Mindscaping.
That's
Oppo.
scary.
And the line. Oh no! Oh, it's the whole hand. That is the burner taunting you from the bin.
Absolutely.
Oh no!
What a hand to burner. Whatever you hit there, you're gonna feel pretty good about it. And unfortunately, nothing there that you can deal with. Bowsley probably has to clear this tag right now.
You have to clear the tag. Now the only silver lining here is that I don't believe Oppo is online though.
It's not.
Cup
That is true.
Cup is legally distinct from trashing.
Yeah, we haven't trashed anything. We haven't stolen anything.
The damage done from Kikai here.
And I don't know if Bowsley cleared the tag here.
Oh, it is. Tag is still there.
Tag has been floated on this one. Now there are...
Looks like 4 cards.
4 cards.
Mindscaping end of the line, depending on what the Mindscaping hits for 1, could just do it.
Yeah.
Oh no. Bowsley head on chin saying, stop trying to kill me and kill me.
Yeah.
Here's a Yuko.
Gonna Alco first, just to really sort of get the best options here.
Second Mindscaping also, I think, puts Bowsley away. Doesn't find it there, so that's good news at least.
Fuji, I think, going in the bin.
That's what it looks like to me.
Gonna draw. We can do Mindscaping first. If it doesn't hit an event, then Bowsley is just cooked here.
Cohort, I think, could tick as well. There it is. Didn't see what went to the bin. And draw a card, and then take a mandatory draw. Look at 5 cards. Start a turn.
Yeah. Didn't see this one, so
we're in the
don't
dark.
know if the definite kill is here. We are playing the
Mindscaping for 1.
so
Here we go.
This is pretty huge. It needs to hit an event for Bowsley to live here.
This is tense.
Incredibly tense. And it could be the Phonetria that wins the game, essentially, in this situation.
It is. What is it? It is.
It's
an
a sure
event.
gamble. Okay, so we draw a card, which means that we're not dead to end the line.
We take second Mindscaping at this point.
Yeah. Kikai now has to sort of decide what the play is here. Like we said, Anikam Lat, notoriously hard to kill.
Very hard to kill. We don't see second end of the line in hand for Kikai. So yes, Bowsley's going to live to see another turn.
We see second end of the line, but crucially the end of the line will remove the tags.
Yes.
We need the second Mindscaping here to really do the damage, and there are only 2 in deck.
Looks like another new remote. And I'm guessing that's a third remote. I don't believe Kikai playing any upgrades in the deck, so those are all discrete remotes.
Yep. I'm just going to spread them out a little bit. Kikai super flush with cash. I wonder if at some point kind of looks to repurpose this Bladderwort remote with ice on it for something else, because might not need that money going forward. Okay, so Bowsley still alive.
Here's an R&D run. So we're going to aim to catalog here, I suppose.
I mean, we haven't seen an enemies yet. We haven't seen Diviner. This is a Samaxamoon, so Bowsley can just pay through. Cost free, I believe. We're going to catalog her. Just checking if Kikai wants to make any actions before Kikai decides to catalog her.
Would be uncommon. Usually you do that after. Don't we see, looks like...
There's definitely a Fat.
Moonpool, Fut, Anemone, and I believe that's Hansei review?
Yeah, it looked like Hansei review to me. So
whiff on the cataloger.
But again, this is where you just have to play the game of, I'm going to ask you for actions. And yeah,
Bindo, there we go.
Kind of has to respect it. Kikai drawing into no agendas now has to wonder,
did he
is
put
there
it
one
third?
Down? Obviously, can pop this spin is going to completely shuffle things up. Going to get that Fuji back into the deck, I would assume. Without Regenesis in the deck, it seems safest to just get it back into R&D.
Mindscaping going in, and Moonpool. Fuji, assuming we think Fuji's in the bin, so that's going to stay there for the time being.
Didn't see it in hand. Obviously, we've got other things installed. There could still be a Moonpool on the board, and it is hard to run and check the bin with Alco.
Yeah.
Also, if you do, you might be just hit with a big Oppo out of nowhere, and Bowsley has 8 credits. He can clear a big Oppo. What do you do after that?
Now, I do believe we saw Kikai change his mind on the Moonpool reshuffle. Was a face down and a copy of Mindscaping. Okay. There's the tag getting cleared. Seems prudent.
Playing that Creative Commission, last click, so gonna draw a card. Again, I think Kikai is over 5 hand size, so Bowsley doesn't have a chance to match hand size again.
That lat deck looking pretty thin at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have gone through a lot. Look at this. The archives look stacked right now, and still only 2 points for Bowsley, and only 2 points scored on Kikai's side as well.
Second cohort here. Now, the 2 cohorts can feed each other. You can bin 1 card and then flip it right over if you want to start scoring.
Absolutely, and we could see if this was possibly something like a false lead jammed into Phonotria server. It's been there for a while, but obviously Kikai was kind of looking for the kill last turn, so not playing it. We're going to trash that petty cash. Feels really good when you do that off an Alco. Yes, we are. So we're flipping up with a cohort. Going to see what we've got. I think flipping.
Yeah,
so
flip 2. This, hold on. If this is see how they run, this also could be lethal.
Yeah, again, you're going to have to fade the events in hand. We are going to 4.
Fuji.
No, scoring the Fuji. Okay. Also, just put in Kikai on 5 points. Really scary, especially when Alco is so good at potentially fast advancing out of nowhere with those Moonpools.
Hits the net damage were Stone Chip and the 3rd Simul Chip. So all the Simul Chips accounted for here.
Yeah, you also really didn't want to lose that Stone Chip. That feels great for not dying, and also for potentially using that cataloger for more chance of potentially winning, which is what Bowsley's going to need to do now. We are on 4 minutes. I believe they have a 1 minute time extension.
That sounds right to me, yes.
So we've only got sort of 5 minutes in. And with Kikai ahead by 3 points, Bowsley needs to find a Fuji and not die to get a draw.
Easier said than done. Looks like another catalog. Now, this one can't be interrupted. We see a Fuji and a Bite. Now, the Bite is good to know where that one is, but there is another Mindscaping there.
Very good. No face downs on the board right now, so Bowsley can be pretty confident that he can just run back and steal this Fuji.
Definitely.
You want to save that cataloger charge if you can, so just running back.
Gonna pay through, saving the last counter on cataloger here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
There's
so
Fuji asset retrieval.
we're back up to 5-5. Down to one card in hand, though.
Uh-oh. Gonna redraw off the Anacon, but there's really not many cards left in deck.
And only 4 credits here. Kikai really could land a big Oppo here and put Bowsley in quite a lot of trouble. I don't think we've got enough Alco counters to pop off, but you can fire Cohort before Alco.
Definitely,
correct?
absolutely.
So we could get a lot of draw here if we want. Maybe jam something in the remote.
Bowsley running through the Phonotria on HQ, knows where the bite is, knows that he doesn't have to respect it, and Fuji wins you the game at this point.
So does a 2-pointer, and there is a 2-pointer in there. I'm pretty sure I saw a See How They Run in hand. So actually playing this really well, because right now doesn't have to worry about that Phonotria tag.
No.
For the first time in a while.
Feels good, man.
Okay. Kikai having a little think about end of turn triggers here.
Getting the Alco trigger from the
maybe
Fuji
from the
steel.
Fuji, yeah. So has so many options here of how they want to sort of play the start of turn triggers to get the best possible draw. Choosing to Alco first.
There's I think there's an argument to not Alco here, just to leave the top of the deck alone for this cataloger. Choosing to do it anyway.
Seem to bite.
Moonpool going to the bin? Maybe.
Reconsidering.
Okay, Moonpool looks like it went to the bin. So
Kikai also pointing out to Bowsley which of the cards, because Bowsley obviously does know the top of the deck right now. So saying the third card, which I think
it's the one he hasn't seen, I believe, because of the steal.
True. Okay. Pretty challenging here. I would really have wanted to take some notes, because all of a sudden my brain would have no idea what's on the top.
Yeah, remember, these players have been going all day. We started at 9:10 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
My watch has 5 p.m., 5:10, so you do the math at home.
And let's just not forget, they've already played about 11 hours yesterday.
Netrunner is not it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Okay. Still going on these start of turn triggers here. Lots of considerations.
Remember, our players do have a 1-minute time extension, so add 1 minute to that clock down below at the bottom of your screen. Install behind the Phonotria.
Kikai definitely wants to kind of, I think, finish his turn with a big
review.
Oppo. There it is.
There's Oppo. Okay.
So this is going to be 4 tags, and the time is going to run out on Bowsley's turn from, depending on how fast this turn is.
Yes, he could play fast enough where it doesn't.
But he kind of needs to find the agenda this turn.
Yeah, this game does not go too many more turns, whether time is called or otherwise. Here's Ritual. That's a draw 4, I believe.
It is off the Anacam right here. So
that was a huge draw.
Some options. Maybe just looking for. Have we seen both jailbreaks? There's a third jailbreak, which would be pretty good on HQ. You could even kind of maybe look at going somewhere, cupping something, going back to HQ, sweeping the whole of the hand. Might be an option.
I wonder if there's a world where Kikai regrets putting that Moonpool in the bin. Oh, here's the Stone Ship. We can recharge the cataloger or use it for those last 2 cards at R&D.
Yeah, just here, cycling the Gauss just to save the credit. Stone Ship, absolutely, sort of charging up the cataloger here. We're going to see...
There's a 3-pointer. Hold on. There's a Fuji. If the remote that is unres
is not the Moonpool,
I believe there's a Moonpool in the bin. Spin Doctor. It could be Spin Doctor. I believe there's still one left. Hold on. It's a Moonpool.
Kikai has the ability to shuffle here, which is absolutely huge, stuffing this cataloger charge, and I believe that we only have 1 click after this turn. After this is left.
Looks correct.
So Bowsley knows that both end of the lines are in hand as well. Doesn't have his burner anymore. Could potentially live if he goes HQ and cups one of the end of the lines. But I think you need to just take a shot somewhere here and touch an agenda.
Well, mindscaping's a problem though too. I think any way you slice it, Kikai's got the kill lined up. It's just whether or not Bowsley can find a win first. He does have the cataloger button available to him. He has ran R&D already. So despite the shuffle, there is always the Hail Mary of just hit the cataloger and pray to whatever your chosen deity is.
Absolutely, and we're showing a couple of agendas going back in here.
They got to go somewhere.
Yeah, and you don't want to potentially leave the out of Bowsley deciding to run archives last click and just win the game.
Come on, Bowsley, hit that cataloger. Hit that cataloger.
I mean, you can also just run back for a single credit. So even without the cataloger, you can get in there, but you need to touch a card here. There's no way to survive. We might be unkillable Anikam Lat, but we will get killed next turn if we don't win.
Counting the face downs and archives, there are 6 of them. Could there be a world where Kikai left one in archives? There's a potential.
It's just now, what's the play? Is it run HQ? Is it run R&D? You know that there's at least some agendas in R&D. You've just seen them shuffled in. That kind of gives you the only knowledge that you've really got right now.
10 agenda points accounted for, so ostensibly still 10 in the deck, or floating around somewhere, rather.
Absolutely.
Bowsley deep into the tank here.
Yeah.
One click decides whether or not he will move on to the lower bracket finals.
And Kikai just, I think, trying to just remain completely calm and not give away anything. Right now, he knows where the agendas are and trying not to give any of that information away to Bowsley.
Stone face from Kikai.
I mean, no rush on Bowsley at all here. He knows that it's the last click of the game, even without time being up.
These are the moments you dream of when you do coverage for these events, partner.
Absolutely. Nothing else. We don't.
R&D. R&D. Knock the top of the deck.
We're spending the credit.
Flip it. Oh, it is! Oh my goodness! Bowsley taking it down. Lat putting Kikai away.
Apologies
in a dramatic fashion. Apologies to the headphone users at home.
Wow.
But that was exactly as exciting for us in the booth as it was for you at home. What? Incredible. Bowsley disappearing from camera.
Absolutely wild. I mean, when you know that you are stone dead on the next turn and you have a 1 in however many outs and you take it and you hit it, the feeling that you get off that, the feeling of watching it is a pretty big rush.
You can't even be mad about that if you're Kikai. I think Kikai did just about everything perfectly.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a real touch game. I think the only mistake that we saw all game
the Phonotria
was the Phonotria.
Yeah.
Which was real unfortunate, and maybe just not realizing the exact text on Phonotria. Understandably, it's not an ice that we see very often.
No, not at all.
But it makes so much sense in this deck where it is such fat tax. Wow, that was a game.
Unbelievable. You know what's wild? We're not even done. There's like 2 more games left to play today before we have a world champion.
I mean, we've had some real wild games. We've had a real sort of mix of different things as well. Like, so many things on stream. Next up, we'll have the lower bracket finals.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to see who meets Zandraft in the grand finals.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna go call a cardiologist.
Yeah. Wow. We're going to take a really short break. I think it's only going to be around about 5 minutes or so. The round's already finished. Stick around. We will be right back with you. I've been Baran Wu.
My name is Cranked.
We'll see you in 5 minutes.